this don't even work. You can't even see nothing. Alright, y'all. I thought the lighting was gonna make me more visible, but it's not. And I don't feel like getting up right now. Okay? I'm all comfy in the bed. What's done in the dark comes to the light. Have you ever considered when God said, let your light shine, right? I'm even hearing namaste. The light that is within me, or the light that is within me honors the light that is within you. So you know how, chosen one, how some way or another, if anything is done in the dark, in secret, in the shadows, in the hidden places, okay, in the valleys concerning you, hermit energy, how you get to get the secrets, high priestess energy, Pisces, Neptune, illusions, veils, okay? You know that energy of being too deep, where people associating you with being too deep, okay? As in seeing things beneath the surface, right? Think about the ocean. One of the phrases that I like to use is how most people are going to just remain on the shore of an ocean. They may, walk up into the water, jump over some waves. You get what I'm saying? Maybe even swim like closer to the shoreline. It is far more people who would do that than those who are actually courageous and brave enough to scuba dive. Scorpio energy, right? So most of the time when people say everything that's done in the dark comes to the light, most people are referring to if somebody did something a year ago, years ago, months ago, weeks ago, right? Eventually, weeks later, days later, months later, years later, it's going to come out to the light. It's going to come out, all clear and in your face and right there, tangible information, visible information for you to see, right? That's what people are normally referring to when they say everything done in the dark is going to come to the light. But guess what? It actually is revealed to you much sooner than that. Why? Because you are the light. Hence why so much effort goes into trying to keep you out of the loop, okay? Trying to keep something covered up, keep something hidden, okay? Distort the actual truth, create a lot of confusion, even though you already had some type of dream telling you what's going on. You've already had a vision about something going on. You probably was 10 steps ahead. You probably had the dream or the vision years ago, months ago, weeks ago, way ahead of before the bullshit even happened. You already had a dream about it, okay? Like, you already see through shit, whether people admit it or hold themselves accountable or not, right? Or confess to the truth. Now, all this is intended to get you to doubt yourself. It's intended to get you to doubt your abilities, doubt your gifts, doubt your faith in the divine, okay? Get you to question yourself, question your discernment and your intuition. In essence, that is the whole fucking point of people orchestrating confusion, distortion, illusion, and why people weaponize silence. They weaponize the silence because they don't want you to have they don't want you to have the quote unquote victory or the satisfaction of finding out that you was actually right about something the whole damn time. Like, you knew what you was talking about. Now, we technically get this reassurance and this clarity and confirmation directly from source, you know, whether that be through synchronicities, however that may play out. You know, sometimes God will show us that we was right about something through a conversation that's being had around us, something on the billboard, something on a goddamn license plate, something in a book that you just so happen to felt like reading that day or was got it to read, you know, something that's said to you in conversation, a video, a caption, whatever way, bro. Or like I said, you already had some type of prophetic dream ahead of time before it all unraveled. Okay. Now, this also means if somebody called themselves gossiping about you, okay, using your name with ill intent, okay, spite, plotting some type of harm, or, you know, a secret group chat, you know, whatever they do, um, more than likely you guys get some type of intuitive nudge. Okay, your nose start itching, okay, your ears start tingling, whatever. There's something that goes off within your inner chimes, you know, that okay, something what's going on? You feel me? But again, this message is real short and cute, real to the point. So yeah, technically, no, it's not that the truth is revealed months later, years later, weeks later. More likely than not, your light has already seen or revealed or pierced through the veils 10 steps ahead. The moment it happens, and this could be why some people are, you know, they find it difficult to maintain eye contact with you. There was this video I've seen of this lady talking about how she's very selective about maintaining eye contact with people, and that is because she feels like eye contact is something that's very intimate on a soul level because the eyes are the gateway to the soul. Now, personally, I am somebody whom I've always kind of had this boldness about maintaining eye contact with people, but I've experienced people feeling uncomfortable, you know, or, you know, would have challenges with looking me into my eyes. This is very intimidating. First of all, they like to teach us that utilizing eye contact is a sign of confidence, yes, but also a sign of respect whenever you're communicating with people. Instead of staring at their mouth, staring at their, you know, breast, like just common sense, like look the person in the eyes. But in actuality, it's a very bold and courageous thing to be able to look people into their eyes. Now, the reason why the girl says she's selective about eye contact with particular people, being that the eyes are the gateway to the soul, is because some people are very rich in their soul. Like there's some people are very dirty, so to speak. Like some people are, you know, possessed, okay, or they have like a lot of internal battles and dark attachments and entity attachments, and this is why she's more selective about looking into people's eyes. Now, personally, I want to know who I'm dealing with, and I'm gonna let you know who you dealing with. So I'm gonna look in with your eyes. I've even been told by somebody that I got really, really closely bonded to. Jokingly, he said to me one time, he was like, "Look, just don't be looking me in my eyes, and I'm gonna have to get you some sunglasses or whatever next time we kick it." Now he was just joking, but that was basically him saying how I basically see through him. Like, so there's something about people being intimidated by your ability to see their deception, see what they're hiding, you know, see through their mask, okay, unravel or peel off their costumes. So if anybody tries to abuse the astral realm and astral project in a dream state to try and feed you something, try to make some type of binding contract, a transactional binding using money, trying to give you money, get you to accept some money. People try to have sex with you in the dream state. Whatever, you know, people do to try to bind people to themselves via the unconscious, okay, via the dream state, because that is a thing, okay, whether people want to, admit that or not. A lot of people are led to believe, like when it comes to the dream state, that, oh, I just dreamed about food because I went to sleep hungry. Oh, I just dreamed about money because I'm having some financial struggles or challenges right now. Oh, I dreamed about sex because I was kind of horny when I went to sleep, or because I'm a man, or because I'm celibate, or because I miss somebody, whatever. But in actuality, these are real spiritual, experiences that we're talking about. Okay, so y'all, I'm telling you, you're coming off mad spooky to people because things that they feel like are supposed to be high level um magic, okay? Um because let's call it what it is. These are some punk ass motherfuckers to feel like you have to masquerade yourself, or skin walk, okay, put on somebody else's skin, okay, not really show up as yourself in order to get something done. These are people who are very fearful of who you are. They respect who you are, okay, they know how powerful you are, and this is why they're having to, you know um seek out or try on different costumes and cloaks to basically try to hex you or vex you, right? Or attach something to you, or even attach themselves to you. Like, for example, I had, a skinwalker try to jump in my skin before in a dream state, and I jumped up and basically ruined that whole thing, like when she tried to do it, right? I've had somebody try to attach an entity to my sacral chakra in a dream state before. I was successfully able to fight it off. Um, I say all this to say that you're finding all the ways of escape in the physical earthly realm, as well as in the spiritual, quote unquote, unconscious realms. For you, the unconscious is not truly the unconscious. For you, in the unconscious realms or scope of things, you're conscious in the unconscious. You're conscious in the subconscious. So they can't bind you through symbols. They can't bind you through illusions. They can't trick you. They can't do any of that through any of these different avenues that people explore to exploit people on a soul level. Okay? This destiny swapping, there's things that they have to come to you with on a higher level of magic, because you're a higher level alchemist, you're a higher level high priestess, high priest, okay? You can see, it's a really, really bright light. Okay, imagine trying to sneak yourself, and it's so crazy. I was thinking about how I passed these houses, and it was some nice ass houses, and how they were all well lit at night. So it's like, I remember thinking to myself, man, imagine like some thieves or whatever trying to sneak into, these people's houses, and they have them well lit. And I remember having this thought cross my mind, well, people are very bold and, very sneaky. But then another thought counteracted that thought and was like, well, people are also um richer in awareness of what people do in order to bypass surveillance. So I'm pretty sure they stepped up their surveillance system or their security. This is literally how we are being seen amongst these people. For one, our security is top tier, whether that be your spirit team, and above all else is the Most High, omnipresent, omniscient, all powerful. Whoa. You're a threat. You're a problem. You're a problem to the regime, to the regimen, to the scheme. Like, you're a problem, you're a threat. And so these people have to work overtime to attack the person whom, their eyes are not as open, or they're more willing to disregard their discernment, their intuition, or what's right before their very eyes. This is why it's always us that people try to boot out, push out. This is why it's always us that people team up together to work against, okay, to try to throw cloaks over who we are or over the truth. Hence why the truth is symbolized as a sword. with the ability to cut through cloth, cut through veils, cut through storms and clouds. Now, if you really think about it, a cloud, a cloud compared to armor made out of iron, a cloak made out of a fabric compared to an armor made out of iron, okay, metal, a veil, a cast of fog or illusion compared to the sun. Like, ain't that something? Ain't that something? Like, think about how fire can burn down houses, wood, um, yeah, like fire can burn down bones to dust, right? Ashes. You are that flame, divine collective. You're that flame. You're that fire. You're that anointed being of light, beam of light. The sun, the moon, that even when they try to masquerade themselves as light, it's not good enough. It's not powerful enough to deceive you. So again, just keep that in mind. Whenever, people are refusing to have honest, accountable conversations with you, when they confess the truth or they reveal what's actually been going on instead of keeping you quote unquote in the dark, that's because you're not really in the dark. Okay? Like, these people may be trying to arouse fear, anxiety, worry, all this within you, but you already know what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? You already know what's going on. And if you feel this fear, this anxiety, this worry, understand this. It's not yours. Because God didn't give you the spirit of fear nor the remnants of fear that manifests as anxiety, worry, and concern. So that lets you know that, look, 155 on the clock. And with light, you know how if there's dim lighting, you may overlook details of things. But your light is not dim. But this is why people try to dim your light, because they want to try to be able to like sneak things past you. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, there are other beings who allow their lights to be dimmed, hence why people are able to get over on them. People are able to trick them and deceive them and, trick them. Right? Ace of Swords, that's the truth. And you got the temperaments, the whole angel. Yeah, so that's the message, y'all. That's the message, okay? And yeah, it may be tiresome for people who are wounded and, people who are spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically stagnant. But in essence, they drift to you because there's something that your light, that they're needing the light to eradicate. They're needing the light to detoxify and purify about them or within them, okay? They're needing to be shown that there are shadow beings around them and attached to them that are keeping them in a place of misery, okay? That are pulling them backwards, pulling them downwards, okay? Withholding them from true expansion, prosperity, and growth, from tapping into their true abundance, their purpose, right? It's like when you have a disease, your disease is inside of your body. There are some diseases that manifest on the flesh, that manifest outwardly through, that person's orientation or disorientation. But, when you think about, there are some diseases that it don't physically or visibly show, but it may show out in a way that a person behaves and shit like that, right? So again, being a light in essence is almost like being a damn doctor, okay? Being a therapist, being a surgeon, okay? Like, it's cool. It's cool stuff, okay? It's really cool. So Hopefully, wording it this way will empower you guys, okay? Stay encouraged. Don't allow these people to deceive you with their darkness or try to distort you from who you actually are. If you know that you've consciously and intentionally been walking in light, okay, you're a person of integrity, you're a person who has a lot of respect, appreciation, and gratitude for the truth. You like for people to be truthful with you, and so generally you're truthful with others. You appreciate things being just and fair in your life. You appreciate balance. You appreciate what is right. You consciously make decisions based on right and wrong. If you know this is the life that you fortify for yourself, don't allow any direction, any amount of deception or people operating out of deception to distort you from who you truly are, and that is the fucking light.